Okay, good morning. It's Cinco de Mayo, and I'm going to go over Unit 8 work today. This is Math 2, Semester 2, Final Review, Units 8 through 13. And today we're going to cover the odds on Unit 8. Alright, show all work for full credit. You guys have been hearing this from your math teacher for a very long time. Alright. So here we're dealing with exponents here, and we want to take care of these negative exponents first. So I start at the top, I work from left to right, then I go to the bottom, work left to right. Negative exponent on top goes to the bottom. If it's on the bottom, it goes to the top. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared. I have these negative exponents, things are going to be moving around, so I'm going to do that. Y to the fourth is going to go to the bottom and become positive. X to the negative 3 is going to go to the top and become positive. Y to the negative 6 is going to go to the top and become positive. And now I'm going to simplify. X squared times x to the third is x to the fifth. 2 plus 3. Add the exponents. Okay, we have y to the 6 on the bottom, y to the 4th on, y to the 6 on top, y to the 4th on bottom. 6 minus 4 is 2, y squared. Okay? I think that's the easiest way. There's other ways to do that as well. We could have subtracted just as easily. Another way of doing it is go right to the subtraction method. We have x squared on top, x to the negative 3 on the bottom, so we could go 2 minus negative 3, because when you have the same base, you subtract the bottom exponent from the top exponent. So 2 minus negative 3, we add the opposite, and we get x to the fifth, and then we have y to the negative 4th minus negative 6, and again we add the opposite and we get y. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So subtraction method right off the top, or you can move your negatives around until you get all positive exponents and then go 6 minus 4, 2 plus 3. It's up to you. Alright, so here we have to distribute that exponent to everything on the inside. So I rewrite this as a to the third, b to the 7th, and then it's negative 2 to the third, which means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is negative 8. A is to the first, so 1 times 3 is a to the third. Remember, when we raise a power to a power, we multiply. 1 times 3. And then we have b, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And then, of course, we have b to the first. Alright, to simplify this, I'm going to bring that negative 8 out front first. I'm going to bring it out front. I'm going to cross it off. I dealt with it. I have a to the third, and I have a to the third. 3 plus 3 is a to the 6th. Okay, I have negative 7 plus negative 6 is negative 13. Negative 13 plus 1 is negative 12, and we will move that to the bottom and make it positive. Originally, if we were doing this, I would have come up with negative 8, a to the 6, b to the negative 12, and then I would have rewrote it like this over here, because our answer should not have any negative exponents in it. Okay, I'm going to leave number 2 for you. Going on to number 3. Alright, simplify. So we have to remember, when we have a fractional exponent, the numerator is our power and the denominator is our radical. So we're going to rewrite this as, I like to take 16. I take the numerator and I put it to the third, and then square root. Okay, the 3 came here, the 2 went there. Now 16 to the third means 16 times 16 times 16. Alright, this, remember, it takes 2 to get 1 out. So I've got 2 16s. So one's going to get out and one's going to get killed. This 16 we're going to break into 4 times 4, which means 1 gets out and 1 gets killed. So in the end, we get a 16 out and we get a 4 out. And 16 times 4 is 64. So that's our final answer. Okay. So they want us to simplify this. So we have cubed root and 27 times 27. So we don't have 327, so we have to go further. Luckily, 27 can be broken down into 3 times 3 times 3. So we have a group of 3. So one gets out, the other 2 get killed. Another group of 3. One gets out, the other 2 gets killed. So we get 2 3s out, which means a final answer of 9. Okay, and the square root of 18 is, it's a square root because we don't have something there. We know it's a 2. 18 can be broken down to 2 times 9, and 9 can be broken down into 3 times 3. 1 3 gets out, 1 3 gets killed, and the 2 is stuck inside because he doesn't have a twin. Okay, moving on to number 5. Alright, we're multiplying radicals. So we multiply what's out in front of the radical. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And when we multiply radicals, they both go underneath. Since there's no twins here, we just rewrite it as negative 10 times the square root of 21. Okay, so negative 5 times 7 is negative 35 times the square root of 12 times 3. So negative 35. All right, 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. That's the 12, but don't forget we have that other 3. So 1 gets out, 1 gets killed. 1 gets out, 1 gets killed. So if we could do it at once. So we're getting a 2 out and a 3 out. So basically we have negative 35 times 2 times 3, and we get negative 210. All right, and moving on to C. All right, so this is division. So got different ways of doing this. I like to think of the outside. First of all, 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and take these two. Whenever you have a radical divided by a radical, you can put them under the same roof. So we get 45 over 5. Now we can reduce, and we get 2 root 9. And the square root of 9 is 3, so we get 2 times 3 for a final answer of 6. Okay. All right, now we are adding. So since we're adding, we can just basically ignore the parentheses. Eight plus 5 is 13. Square root 3 plus square root 3 is 2 root 3. We cannot add these together because they're not like terms. All right, next one. 7 minus 9 root 13. We don't change anything there, but here we have to basically distribute that negative sign. So negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Negative times a negative is a positive 2 root 13. Now we'll combine like terms. 7 plus negative 5 is 2. Negative 9 root 13 plus 2 root 13 is negative 7 root 13. All right, number 6 is yours to do. All right, number 7. Well, it looks like I'm doing all the work here. Number 7. All right, this is multiple choice. Select all the expressions that are equivalent to 8x squared to the second, or to the 2/3 root. All right, so you can see these are all radical forms. So we're going to change this guy. I think I'll do it right up here. So this is 8x squared raised to the second and then the cube rooted. All right, so try a little more room here, but what we end up with is the cube root of 8 times 8, because 8 squared, okay, 8 squared would be 8 times 8, and x to the 4th. Okay, Now remember, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So we're going to get a 2 out. The cube root of 8 is 2. And we're going to get another 2 out. So the cube root of 8 is 2. The cube root of this 8 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. You got 4 x's. 1's going to get out, 2's going to get killed, and 1's going to be left inside. So if we were to simplify 8x squared to the 2/3 power, we get 4x root x. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our choices now. You can see that A looks exactly like this step here, so A is good. All right. Now, this is not good because if we were to square 8, we would get 64. So the x to the 4th is correct, but we didn't square the, should be 8 squared or 64x to the 4th, which you can see I didn't quite do there, but it's connected. 8 times 8 is 64. So that guy's out. Okay. This one is our finished product here. I don't have the 3rd. I should have. So this guy is good. Okay. This guy, we took out the 4, but they didn't simplify the x's. No good. And this guy is no good. So there you go. A and C are the solutions. All right. Let's move on to number 9. All right, let's select an expression equivalent to. All right, so we're multiplying. So 1/3 times 1/3 is 1/3 times 1/3 equals 1/9. Okay. All right, so it looks like we can just stop right there. We know it's C. Select an expression equivalent. So there's only one, so it's got to be C. But let's go ahead and we have x to the 1/4 times x to the 2/3. So when we multiply numerators. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12. So we end up with 1/9 x to the 1/6. And no, I'm not sure what we got going here. That's going to be 3/12. Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away. Let's go back. When we are going to multiply the base, we have to add the exponents. I'm so sorry. So let me rewrite this. I got carried away. It's been a while. We're going to rewrite this as 1/3 x to the 3/12 times 1/3 x to the 8/12. We find common denominator because we're going to add numerators. When we're multiplying, we add numerators. Excuse me, we add exponents. So 1/3 x to the 1/4 becomes 1/3 x to the 3/12 because 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12, times 1/3 x to the 2/3 because 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 4 is 12. So now we have a common denominator because when we multiply, we add exponents. I'm so sorry. So 1/3 times 1/3 is still 1/9. And now that we're multiplying x times x, we add the exponents, which becomes 11/12. My mistake. And we can rewrite this as 1/9. The numerator becomes the exponent, and the denominator is the radical. C. Got a little carried away there. All right, number 11. All right, select an expression that is equivalent to. All right, so basically what we need to do is get these both into fractional exponents so we can add the exponents. So 5 to the 3/8 times 5 to the 2/4. All right, now we want to get these to a common denominator because remember, we don't want to make the same mistake I made a second ago. When we multiply the same base, we add exponents. So we're going to rewrite this as 5 to the 3/8 times 5 to the 4/8. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and now we have a common denominator. So we end up with 5. 3 plus 4 is 7 eighths. And you can see that is D. All right, number 13. Choose all the false statements. False statements. Be careful. For the false statements, correct the mistake. All right, so when we are dividing the same base, we subtract exponents. So that's false. A is false. And 6 minus 2 is x to the 4th. Okay, when we multiply, when we raise a power to a power, we multiply. So this should be y to the 8th. 2 times 4 is 8. So this is false. Should be y to the 8th. Okay, let's see what we got going here. All right, this is a very common mistake. A negative exponent has nothing to do with a negative sign. Okay, so that is false, and we really can't simplify this thing. We're just going to leave this as b to the negative 3 power. These two things are not equal. Okay, and let's take a look at this. We're raising a power to a power, we multiply, so this should be x to the 16th. It is not. It should be x. 4 times 4 is 16. Y to the 3 times 4 is 12. And we still have that x to the first. 1 times 4 is 4. And we end up with 16 plus 4 is x to the 20, y to the 12. So this guy is actually true. I should have 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 times 4 is 20. So I should have simplified the parentheses first. I should have rewrote this as x to the 5th, y to the 3rd, raised to the 4th power. I didn't look at it close enough before I got started. Alright, so this one is true. And let's see. Again, when we raise a power to a power, we multiply. So this one is false. It should be b to the negative 20. All right, I'll leave 14 for you to do. All right, and that's it for today. Other than this mistake up here and down here, I should have simplified. I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that one. Good luck.